Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to Ask Harry episode 5, where me, Harry Humble, will be asking you questions. And new haircut. Hooray for me. So, yeah, let's start off. First of all, we get 4 questions from my best friend himself, Aaron Mann. Let's see what he has to say. 1. What are your opinion on Tiny Toon Adventures? Well, it's funny. It's Steven Spielberg at his best, and then he made Animaniacs, which is even better. Well, actually, I like them both the same, but Animaniacs parodied Barney with Baloney and Kid, and that parody was so good because I hate Barney. 2. Do you think Misha and the Bear should stay on Cartoonito? Definitely! It's a baby show. It should not be on Boomerang. It should stay on Cartoonito, and that's it. Not on Boomerang, because Boomerang isn't for baby shows, even though Lazy Town airs on Boomerang, and that's a baby show, but it doesn't air on Cartoonito anymore. 3. Did you used to watch the Smurfs? I didn't. And I'm sure you're meaning the Hanna-Barbera series from the 80s, and I've looked at the movie and I can't stand both movies, but I'm sure Smurfs Lost Village might be better even though it's CGI. But unfortunately the same people behind the live action Smurfs movie, I think his name's something Kerner or something, is also behind this movie, but it's a total reboot, so it might be better, who knows. 4. Do you wish that Mo Long was cancelled? Yeah, even though then I can't stand that show. I didn't really express much of that show. I should have mentioned more about how the voice acting gave me a headache. Oh well. Next up, we get 5 questions from Stuart, aka Pile of Tapes, Filbert File. He says, 1. Why do you keep empty bottles in your room? Oh, you meaning those? Oh, I collect them. It's a weird obsession I like, because of autism, of course, but oh well, it's a very good hobby to do. 2. Do you like Peter Griffin from Family Guy? I don't like Family Guy in general, and I don't like Seth MacFarlane because of his humour. I don't like his style of directing and humour. Well, he was better on when he worked at Hanna-Barbera, but when he started to make Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show, I just don't like him. And Ted, I can't stand Ted and the sequel. 3. What sort of game consoles do you have? Oh, that's easy. That's easy. I own a PlayStation 2, a Nintendo GameCube, a Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo 64. I'm getting myself an Xbox original for Christmas, a Wii U, and those are all the consoles I own. I used to own a PS1, but it was actually my sister's and it broke before I was born, I think it was. I don't know. 4. Do you have any social medias like Instagram, Snapchat, Skype, Facebook, etc.? I have a Facebook account, but if you wanted to befriend me, I wouldn't, because I only accept close friends and my family members, because even though I know you a bit, Pile of Tapes, I don't really know you well compared to people like Aaron. And I have a Twitter account, so you're free to follow me on that, because it's more different than Facebook, because I actually do sometimes express my own personal opinions on Facebook. Oh well. And 5, do you like South Park? I think it's alright. The animation style's quite good, but like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of adult humour. But if I'm bored or something, I might try and watch an episode. And I do have the 3 terrible South Park games from Acclaim Entertainment, so it does hint that I do sort of like the show, but not much. Next up, we get 5 questions from Superpower Review 98, and he says, 1. What are your most favourite and most hated websites of all time? Some of my favourite websites are YouTube itself. I like Twitter, I like Facebook, I like Wikia, and I like many others. My favourite Wikia is the Crappy Games Wiki, because I like looking at bad games, and the same person who made that wiki, Disney Villain, also did the Awesome Games Wiki, which I contribute to, and I'm an admin on both sites. And I also like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Wiki, which I help save from immature Wiki contributors and stuff like that. Most hated websites, Let's just say any Gawker websites like Kotaku and Gizmodo, because Gawker is nothing but a clickbait company, and luckily they're gone. But nevertheless, I can't think of any more websites I hate. All I can think of is Gawker at the moment, and Kotaku and Gizmodo. 2. What are your favourite candies? It's strange because I don't like potato chips, except for paprika Pringles. They taste great, and I'm not a huge fan of candies as well. And the only candies I like eating are Skittles. They taste good, except for the tropical and sour ones. I don't like them. And what else? Thinking, oh, Juicy Drop Pops, which I barely see nowadays because I only like the strawberry flavour. I really fancy having them. 3. What are your favourite theme parks? Well, even though I wish to go to more, I haven't been to many, but let's just say if I had to go to any, I would go to Universal Studios Japan. I mean, all Universal Studios parks except for Singapore. I'm not a huge fan of the Singapore one, because I think Universal Studios is better than Disney in my opinion. Disney's too busy, and I wouldn't cope with it at all, and Universal's less busy, and it actually has some third-party characters that Disney wouldn't accept. But let's just say my favourite theme park out of all those would be Universal Studios Japan. And I do like the Cedar Fair parks as well because they've got the Peanuts characters, even though USJ has Peanuts as well. 4. What is the worst Mario game you've ever played? And it's a hard choice because all the Mario games I played are actually really good. Let's just say the worst I've played, I can't say, but the worst I've seen would definitely be Hotel Mario. You know why, cheap looking cutscenes. And the Mario Discovery series, I think they were boring. And that's all I could say. 5. What is the worst cartoon anime you've ever seen based on video games? This is also a hard one because like I mentioned with theme parks, I mean with worst Mario games, they always tend to be good. So let's just say the worst one that could have been on the better would have been the 4Kids dub of Sonic X, because 4Kids knew nothing about Sonic, and that's all I can say, because most of the anime and cartoons I've seen based on video games is quite good. Last but not least, there's a question from Ben Bryan, who, like I mentioned before, said in his last Q&A that I am one of his best friends, which I thought was pretty cute in a good way. And he says, what phone do you have? He has a Samsung. I don't have a phone because I'm not trusted with one, because my mum and my sister probably will think that I'll be calling random people, and I'll be calling Aaron too much, even though I don't know his phone number, and I would rather just talk to her on FaceTime more than anything else. Bring! Uh-oh, I better go. See you next week. I'll probably finish these by the end of the year, so yeah, that's all I can say. Bye-bye, everyone. And I better eat my pizza.